Hi there, welcome to my distortion pedal design. It's based on two schematics, and that is the OCD, which has been heavily modified, and that is this chip here, all the components around it. Played with that and it sounded pretty good, but I want to make it my own, so I've replaced a lot of the components in there to make it more valve sounding. Also, I thought I would play about with adding an extra input, an extra booster input, because overdrive and distortion pedals often sound better with a booster on the input. So instead of having to buy a separate pedal, I thought it'd be good to incorporate a boost on the input. And the best sort of boosts really are FET or some sort of FET, MOSFET, JFET, that sort of thing. So here on the side here, I've built a MOSFET input there. It's using the same transistor as the clipping circuit on this uses. That is a 2N7000 MOSFET. So I tried that with a fixed boosted output into the input of this circuit here, and that was all right. It's okay, but then I looked at some more circuits like the JFET. Now for the JFET, I built a JFET circuit here consisting of two JFETs, which are both J113s. So it's a double JFET. So one is boosting the other, and you have an output control to the boost section there. And the output of this circuit is going to the inputs of the revised OCD. So basically what I've got now is a modified OCD with a dual JFET boost at the front end. So let's see what that sounds like. Would help if I turn my supply on. There we are, it's drawing 4 milliamps. Into a Laney amp. That's what it sounds like with low OCD gain. If I turn the gain up a bit. I turn the gain up to maximum now. Break up there on maximum. I might have to revise the values there. So there's quite a lot of distortion on that. Minimum. It's possible to get it completely clean. If I turn the JFET boost down to say halfway, I see it's reducing the overall volume. Now if I boost it to maximum, it takes on this dark tone near the top end. So you see you've got, that's near the top end, not the top end of the gain range on the. So if I turn this up to the maximum on the FET, so that's pretty good. So there's dual JFETs there, providing a booster circuit for a modified OCD, and I've changed the filter values. I might change them again actually to make it sound a bit duller, because it sounds a bit too bright for my liking. And this is the guitar I'm using, which is Axis Sterling guitar, a new acquisition. My wife bought it. and this is actually using humbucker on there, so it sounds quite bright for a humbucker. I think I might alter some filtering here on the OCD, alter the capacitance a bit more to take some of that top end off to make it sound more mellow and valve like. That's what I'm after. I'm after a sort of a valve like sound, mellow, but at the same time I don't want it going mushy and anything like that. Now I'm using my bench power supply here, and what I have done, I've actually experimented with the input voltage. At the moment it's 9 volts, so this will run quite happily on the battery. This is 9 volts. I've tried reducing it down to 7 volts to try and get some sag like you get with a valve. It sounded all right actually, not too bad. Obviously I can turn this output up probably to about 12 volts and it won't affect the circuit, so I'm going to be experimenting with different voltages going to this circuit, see how it all sounds with the FETs and everything. What I've done here as well to test the FET circuit is working, I've taken put the input into the circuit and taken it out of the other end straight to the output, just to see what it sounds like, just to make sure it's working as well, because these are quite these circuits can be quite difficult, because the J113 has I think it's drain, source and gate, so normally you would think that the gate is in the middle, which it is on this MOSFET, but on the J113 the gate is right at one end, so I wired it up wrong to start with, because I wasn't quite I'm always used to gates and things, and gates being in the middle, so it was a bit confusing, but I've got it right now. It's working. Tested this circuit out. Both these circuits produce a boost which is clean. They don't overdrive anything, but what I wanted to do is to get a clean boost on the input of this modified OCD and experiment with that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm also testing the OCD without any input drivers, because it's important to see whether these the MOSFET or the JFET improve the sound of the OCD on the input. So I'm going to do some listening tests and see, and hopefully I will end up with something today. I've tried also to make some sort of overdrive distortion pedal just using JFETs and MOSFETs, but the thing is you need quite a few stages, probably about 4 stages of MOSFETs or possibly JFETs to actually get enough gain to make it distort. And when it does distort, it does tend to get a bit mushy with MOSFETs. With JFETs it does stay quite clean, so JFET overdrive pedal is pretty good, but it needs probably 4 or more stages to make a decent sound. And then in all of that you get an increase in noise, in hiss and noise, because there's always going to be some hiss when in a circuit of this type. Op-amps really are fantastic things, because they have a very high input impedance and a low output impedance, which is what you need. JFETs have a very high input impedance. The output impedance you need to make lower by the circuitry that follows it. So yeah, there's swings and roundabouts. Op-amps are very good, but JFETs, especially MOSFETs, they do tend to warm up the sound. So anyway, I'm going to experiment with this. I hope you found this interesting, and hopefully I'll have my finished pedal out quite soon. Thanks a lot for watching.